So if you don't know me personally, over time watching my videos, you might get somewhat of a sense that I am constantly thinking about things. My mind just doesn't stop. Even when I'm just doing nothing, or when I'm doing something or whatever, I often catch my mind leaving the present moment and just like exploring possibilities. Sorry, I gotta drink some water. I'm kind of dehydrated. Some nice ASMR. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk about something, a concept I learned from learning Spanish. So I speak Spanish. There's this word in Spanish. It's a verb and it's also a noun at the same time. It's called poder, P-O-D-E-R, and it means, as a noun, it's power, and as a verb, it's to be able to, I guess like the ability to. And I think it's so fitting that the description and the definition of power is the ability to do something. Like, to be able to do something in Spanish is literally the same word as power. And I want to just let that sit for a second. Just think about that, like the fact that we have choices and we can do what we want. You might say that, you might think for a second that you don't have choice in some matters, but the reality is you can do literally anything you want, anything you put your mind to, you can literally do, whether that be good or bad. If you literally wanted to become a murderer and this very instant you wanted to carry out some sort of horrible, heinous act, you could do it, but obviously there's things about you as a person that would inhibit that. So it's like, whatever your mind is set on, if you take the right measures and the right actions, you can do anything. And that's literally a power. So yeah, one thing, this is my dream. My dream is to convert my thoughts into an ability to express them, if that makes sense. Just like Moses in the Bible, he kind of asked God, God, why did you choose me? I think it's like, from what I've read, it's somewhat implied he had a speech impediment or something of the sort, where he was supposed to give the whole law of the order and the way of living to thousands of people and speak in front of them almost daily. And yet he was someone that, because of his speech impediment, I'm sure it terrified him to do that. And so I'm someone that, growing up, I used to always be very quiet, observant, listening, and never really doing much. But at some point, which that point was during my mission, as I was serving God and teaching the gospel to people, it created a change in me where I totally realized that I had a huge potential, like a reservoir of ideas and energy stored up inside of me. And God was telling me that somehow I just had to let it all out. Let it out and let it be a force for positive change, to produce a chain reaction, so that when people listen to me, that they feel inspiration and they feel the desire to also to do good. So what I've been doing is obviously making tons of videos. I'm practicing, and I'm hoping to be able to, or at least to have the power to convert my thoughts and my energy inside of me into a listenable, that's not even a word, but like into a message that people can listen to and be inspired by. Not only that, I want everyone to understand my thoughts, not just feel the energy, but also understand where my thoughts are coming from. And that's my biggest dream, is to help people with the thoughts that are in my head. So anyway, here are some thoughts, I guess, about my workout, if that helps any of you listening. I'm starting to do split squats just to increase. So I guess I should take a step back. I'm going to talk about my plan, I guess, my exercise plan, my goals. So while I was on the mission, we were in quarantine for most of the time, just because we were representing the church. They didn't want us to do anything or be involved in anything that would negatively represent the church, especially at a time where everything is so, I guess, politicized, or I don't know, like things can just be blown out of proportion. They didn't want missionaries going around spreading COVID, so we stayed in our apartments for most of the time. And during that time, my body atrophied, where it's like I lost muscle mass and strength, and even like my posture and everything. It was crazy. So when I got home, I realized two things. One is that I was very weak, and two is that I wanted to be very strong. And so obviously that's not like the craziest thing. I think that's what most people's goals are. But I realized that I had a lot of imbalances in my body, and so I've been slowly working at them, chipping away at them. the first thing for me is I want to build a base level of strength in my core, in my lower back, and in my hips, and I'm doing that by squatting. I've been doing that by squatting. My ultimate goal is to do all of like the freakishly athletic things that you see on the internet. You see people doing like crazy jumps or doing handstand push-ups, walking on their hands. All these crazy things I want to be able to do. I also want to be able to squat a heavy weight, bench a heavy weight, deadlift a heavy weight, all these things. But I understand. I guess I don't. I think I'm just smart enough to understand, which I think most of us can use our brain and process this. It doesn't all come at once. So first things first, I need to build up some strength. That's why I've been squatting for months and months and months. I've been doing it almost every day at like a 60 to 80% load, I guess. I've only maxed out one time in the whole time I've been doing this in 4 months. And it wasn't even a true max because I could have done more, but I felt like my form was giving out. So anyway, so for the past couple months I've been doing strength building, and now I'm getting into more of like the athletic stuff of like athleticism in my mind is being able to control your body through space in like a coordinated manner, you know? And it's like the more coordinated you can be doing unnatural and I guess inefficient movements, which is like a split squat is an inefficient movement. You would never, if you had to lift a heavy weight, you would never split your stance like this. You would, of course, you would do it like a back squat. You would keep your feet narrow and use all the supportive power of the ground and going into your legs. You'd want to use that all to move the weight. So a split squat is not a strong movement, it's an athletic movement in my mind. So I'm now just barely moving into the athletic space. I'm doing split squats. One thing you'll see me doing at one point is I'm trying to stretch out the tendons in the front of my knees. I've been seeing the knees over toes guy on Instagram doing a lot of stuff, and I recognize the merit in what he's saying. I don't know if everything he's saying is true, but basically how because we never allow our knees to cross some sort of I don't know if it's transverse plane or what plane, or the sagittal plane. We never allow our knees to fully extend. That we lack strength in that area, and that causes a lot of problems when it comes to knees and hips and everything. So at one point you'll see me kind of trying to stretch my knees. I go on my toes and lean my knees forward. Anyway, just trying to do anything I can, because slowly I want to be able to build up athleticism to the point where not only am I strong, I want to also be fast, I want to be flexible, I want to be laterally quick, like side to side. I want to jump high, everything. That's all on my agenda. But I also know that it'll take time. It'll take lots of time. So I think next I'm going to, the back squat. I've been tweaking with my form over the past couple months, and I've already said this in the past videos. I guess I'll keep repeating it. Sorry, I have to drink more water. I really am dehydrated today. Today's my day off, so unfortunately I spent most of the morning in my bed, which maybe I shouldn't have done, but I got home from work late last night, like at midnight, and so anyway, I didn't drink too much water today. So the mental cues I give myself when I'm squatting, first of all, I line up my eyes there's like some, I think they call it knurling, where it's like the grippy part of the bar that's like, anyway, it's right in the middle of the bar. So I line my eyes up with knurling. I put my feet inside of shoulder width and narrow them up, and then I get my head level, the top of my head level with the bottom of the bar. Take a step forward, and that should be exactly where I want the middle of the bar to be, right behind my eyes, basically on my traps, behind my neck. Stand the weight up, walk it back, just one step. And I make sure that the step I do my best to make it an efficient and cost-effective step. I don't want it to be taking too much energy from my squat. Then when the bar is up there, I make sure I lift my elbows up, keep everything tight, and then as I squat down, I fold my chest down into my hips, or I guess down into my pelvis, if that makes sense. I stick my butt back, fold my body down and in, almost like a lawn chair, if that makes sense. And as I get to the bottom, I wait until my calves are touching my thighs, and I get to that depth, and I try and sit there. And that's what I've been practicing recently, because I think that's the way to get the absolute most out of the lift, is to do full range of motion. And then I just stand up, and I make sure, not only do I stand up, I pull my back up, because I put it forward, now I need to return it back to its upright position. And I think that's the key to unlocking the most power in your squat, is to use your legs and your upper body together. So hopefully that was everything. I think, oh, one more thing is, like, when I get to the bottom of the squat, my cue in my mind is just knees to armpits. That's how I get my body to fold, and it helps me get down there. That way I don't have to think too much about it. Knees to armpits, and then calves to thighs, and make sure to keep everything tight. And if you want to keep watching more of my videos, you'll see like the accessory lifts I do to strengthen the individual parts of my body, my back. But yeah, here I included the part where I'm trying to stretch out the tendons and ligaments in the front of my knees. I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just trying to feel it out. But anyway, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to mention today. I have been in the past, and the funny thing is that each week seems to be like its own standalone thing, where it's like I kind of don't remember what I did last week. Last week seems like a long time ago, but every single week I guess I've been doing some shoulder mobility work, and I do like an overhead squat. If you've never seen Olympic weightlifting, they do what's called a snatch. It's like a power clean or whatever, but the bar goes over your head, and you lock out with your elbows extended and your hands wide. So I haven't been doing that because that's kind of advanced, but what I do is I do it with very minimal weight because my shoulders are not strong. I put it over my head and squat with the bar over my head, and literally just the fact that I'm holding it there and not letting it wobble around and rotate, not letting my shoulders rotate and whatever, and give up the form, that in and of itself is building strength in my shoulders. So I do those overhead squats, and you can go back through my videos to see where I do those. Finishing off here with Romanian deadlifts. This is something that I used to love, and now I'm just kind of getting bored of, but I needed it because this is exactly what got me to my max squat of 275, is building my hip and lower back strength at the same time. Like an added benefit is it's building my grip strength, because it's a heavy weight, and I will never, I've already decided I will never do the alternate grip where you like rotate one hand in and one hand out, if that makes sense. One hand supinated and one hand pronated. The overhand is, even though it's a weaker grip, it's literally weaker because my wrist is not strong, and I want my grip strength to be strong. So if I use wrist wraps or do any alternative grip, I'm just going to be taking away the opportunity of my wrist and my grip strength to get stronger. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. This is not my training max. This is just like, maybe let's say 60 to 70%. My training max is 205. I do that for maybe 3 reps at a time. This is 185, and I'm doing it for 5 reps here. I can do it for maybe 6 or 7, but this is literally just to make sure. My thing is that my rule for myself is because I love to challenge myself in the squat. I need to balance my push to pull ratio, and so if I do squats, I need to like eat my vegetables basically and make sure I do the pulling as well. I think this is the last set here of the Romanian deadlifts. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this, just the fact that my Romanian deadlifts are not great. My balance is off. I lean sometimes to one side or the other, and as I've already said, my grip strength at the end of like a lot of sets, maybe I do 5 sets at 185 and 3 sets at 205. I'm basically dropping the bar every time because my grip strength gets giving out. But yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Go to the gym if you haven't been.